Good evening, good evening, good evening, and good evening. Welcome to this special edition of Power Hour Plus the check-in. We've got a great show for you guys tonight. But I want to preface the show with this particular statement. There are times to where we push ourselves to and past our limits at our places of employment and also in our personal lives. Unfortunately, we do this at a great cost to ourselves.
Hmm.
Sometimes when we push past the limitations, our own personal limitations, it comes at a great cost. And me and my sister LSG are going to discuss that. But before we discuss that, we're gonna play a song by my sis Mookstar Dash called Therapy. So with that being said, we're gonna jump into it, and then we're gonna jump into this conversation. So give us a moment, and we'll be right back with you.
Look at me now, I made it through. I overcame what they hated. I'ma give myself congratulations because I made it. I'm on a whole new dimension. These miracles on top of blessings. Tell your father what's the mention. To mention. Therapy. Let me breathe. I'ma count 1, 2, 3. I'm not gonna lose no sleep. I'm on a whole new vibration. Not losing my patience. Because I got my peace. Can't nobody take from me. Therapy. Another switched up on you. The pain you thought you'd never get through. People change, seasons change. The levels raining all on you. It gets better from here. It gets better from here. Favor looking good on me. No pressure, it's time to seek. Therapy. Oh, it's okay to have therapy. Therapy. Let me breathe. One, 2, 3. I'm not gonna lose no sleep. Vibration. Not losing my patience. Because I got my peace. Can't nobody take from me. Therapy. Oh, yeah. Therapy.
All right. That's one of my favorite songs, if I can really be honest. It is a very relevant song. And if you all have been paying any attention to anything LHG does, I am a huge advocate for Jesus and therapy. What size? Biggie
Biggie
size.
sized.
I ain't talking about no Happy Meal here. I'm talking about a big man Paul Bunyan portion of Jesus and therapy. So, as my brother said, welcome. We are combining forces as we do from time to time. When we find these commonalities on our journey, we use them to our advantage and kind of talked through them, and this was a point that we both reached today. And we do thank you so much for tuning in. Please do us a favor and tag and share. Get some people in the live chat, because knowing your limitations, both physically and mentally, can probably save our lives. If not literally, figuratively, it can keep us sane, for one. But what I want to do is just pray before we go into this. If you don't mind, brother, I need to clear my head up so that we can dive into this conversation. So, Father God, we thank you for this day. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to come together with my brother to talk about a topic that is necessary for us all to touch this topic, at least probably daily, because we really operate on E because of necessity, because of lack of funding, and whatever our reasons are. We go into a danger zone, the exhaustion zone, and a lot of times it's hard to recover from that. So that's where we need you, Lord, to help us define our human capabilities and a hard stop, so we can then realize, nope, that's pretty much all I can humanly do, mentally and or physically, and now the rest I give it to the Lord. And then when we give it to you, Lord God, we want to leave it there with you. We want to relinquish it. We want to say, you know what, take this so you can handle it. So, Father, I thank you for this day, for every person who's going to come through the chat via live or replay, for those of us who are heavy laden and really are being forced to identify our limitations because we just can't go anymore. Those of us who have medical conditions, whether it be anxiety, depression, physical conditions, whether it be chronic pain like fibromyalgia or cancer or whatever it is that gets in the way of us living 100% in health. And we all have different health stories and health journeys. But the common denominator is that we've gathered here this evening to say, okay, God, give me the strength to know when I have to say no, when I have to back away. Maybe say not today, or maybe later, or maybe say nothing at all and give no explanation. Maybe the answer is just a no, not a rude no, not a malicious no, but a no. I'm just not able to do that. And we'll be okay with saying that. And those of us who have friends and family who know us and love us, I hope they understand. But even if they don't, we've got to be okay with saying, I'm not okay today. My plate can't take another ounce of anything. My plate needs a plate. It's just too much. And self-care, God, we realize is not selfish. And even if it is selfish, it's okay to be selfish in this instance, because life is a gift. When we push ourselves into the danger zone, we compromise that gift. And we cut our day short by operating in a way where we totally deplete ourselves. So we need your help. So in those times where, God, we're worried about money, we need you to download inventions, strategies, whatever it will take for us to have multiple income streams, so that we don't have to work so hard in one area, that we can diversify our efforts and still have health, still be able to do our few hours and rest. Thank you, God, for restorative rest. Some of us go to bed at night, close our eyes, but it's not restorative. So we're asking that you help us relinquish our thoughts to you so that we can have a restorative, replenishing night's sleep consistently. Those like me who should be wearing a CPAP, we're gonna wear our CPAP because we
Mhm.
migraines prayerfully, doing all that we're supposed to do with our bodies, how you intended us to live in health. And that's a biblical thing. You want us to prosper, even as our soul prosper in our body, prosper in our mind, prosper in our businesses. So really, in essence, God, we're asking for you to align us with your will and your word and give us the wisdom on how to do that daily, how to be okay with saying not today and knowing when to say yes, when to say no. Thank you for the CEO of this platform. Thank you for Trailblazers Radio and all of its hosts. Thank you for all of our followers and those who subscribe and tune in and enjoy. And we ask these blessings and send resources, Lord. By the way, some of us that need jobs and finances and homes and vehicles, please, Lord, we are asking for the abundance to come on in. We all have a different need. So even as we are unpacking this conversation, work some things out behind the scenes for our people and for us. And I ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. And
Long
amen.
prayer, y'all, but I had a long day. So y'all forgive
Look,
me. So it's
it's
power
all
hour.
right. It's all right.
Bro, when I
It's
tell
all
you,
right.
okay, if you all have been watching, Power Hour normally comes on in the morning. And I told you, pardon the construction, I'm going through some changes. I've taken on something additionally, so I've had to move it to the evening, thus us being on at 7 something in the evening and not 9:30 a.m. So thank you all for hanging in with me. If you also don't know, Power Hour is your huddle, morning huddle. What it was, it's your huddle. It's your Monday opportunity to say, what do I have to do this week? So if you don't remember, we are calendarites. We are taking our calendar and we are writing down what we need to do. Now, to my 9-to-5ers, that means we're going to have to be very careful with how we do our calendar because you got to take into account that you're gone through the day. So
Yep.
your evenings, and we're going to go right into this, bro. Your
Right.
evenings are going to have to be strategically allotted because some of us have jobs that deplete us to a point. If you're on the phones all day, like you work in a call center, and somebody wants to talk to you all night, that may not work. Because when I was doing call center work, please don't call me in the evening. I talk all day. If you got something to say, put it in a text.
Yep.
I'll deal with it. I don't want to be on the phone all day, all night after being on the phone all day. So bear with people who work a day job. Bear with those who have their own businesses. Because that's a job. You are the staff. You are the CEO, COO. You are the plumber. You are the janitor. You are the parking attendant. You got the security guard. Those of us who are entrepreneurs, we wear all those hats. So either way, on either side of the spectrum, 9-to-5 or entrepreneur, this show is for you when it comes to knowing your limits. What's your thoughts on that, bro?
Man, look. So let's talk. Let's just put it in this instance. Before we even jump into any of this, let's talk about what the definition of a limitation or limitations is.
Ooh, come on.
Limitation is a noun, a plural noun.
Okay.
It can be limitation or limitations,
Right.
but the definition is going to be the same.
Okay.
According to the Oxford Languages Dictionary, limitations means a limiting rule or circumstances or a restriction. So, limitations are things that can restrict us.
Okay.
Limitations are things that can rule us or rule us into specific circumstances. Limitations are things that can keep us in a specific spot or a place or hold us in place. So we have to understand what our limitations are. Now, mind you, me and my sis LHG are not licensed or certified or even not licensed or certified mental health experts. We are not
This
that.
is true.
However, with this particular podcast, this show, as we always when we tag team, we're just two people that have a set of experiences that we think that we know can help someone.
Absolutely.
And that's going through the same things or same experiences that we go through.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing what your limits are is a very important topic, and I think it was something that we discussed earlier today. Sis said that there were some things that were going on in her body that wasn't a normal thing while she was working today. And even me, I was going through something that was emotionally and mentally limiting.
Mm-hmm.
So these are things that we have to talk about, you know,
Yes.
again, for our 9 to 5ers. Well, I feel like this is for anyone in the workforce, and it doesn't matter what type of shift you work, whether it's first shift, whether it's second shift, third shift, or whether it's an overnight shift. All the things that we're going to talk about applies to everyone. So this is not specific to just 9 to 5ers. This is not specific to morning workers or afternoon workers or third shift workers. It's not. This is specific to everyone, because the concepts we're going to talk about will be applicable to everyone.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Let's start here. And this is a different spin on limitations, and it just came to me. Sometimes you're supposed to have a limitation. I'll give you an example. Say you go to the doctor and something is broken, maybe an arm, or maybe you sprained an ankle. Your doctor may say, I'm going to wrap your leg in a bandage. I'm going to give you a crutch. I'm going to put a brace on a part of your body. And that is to limit you, but it is to keep you from over extenuating that member, which would make you worse. So in that case, it's a temporary limitation so that you can heal. I thought about that because that can go a few ways. Sometimes limiting yourself to, I'm going to do this for 2 hours, that for 2 hours, this for 1 hour, and take a nap. Sometimes those limits are to preserve us. We think that we are superheroes with the capes that have all these superpowers, and we're not supposed to sleep, not supposed to rest. And a lot of times, like today, I embarked upon something new and just wanted to dive in and do all, be all, because that's my nature. Have you ever found yourself agreeing to something so quickly? You're like, why did I just say yes to that? It just comes off so, it's like, yep, whoa, hey, whoa. Because you're accustomed to being everybody's everything. That's a danger zone to all the grandmothers out here who are raising their grandchildren. If your children are capable of raising their own kids, I'm going to ask you to let them. Now, if your children, God forbid, have drug issues, or some of them may be incarcerated and you are those children's only hope, that's different. But sometimes we just say yes to stuff because that's what we're accustomed to doing, and we don't even think about it. Sometimes your yes cripples other people from learning how to do stuff. Have you ever said yes to something or someone, and they're so used to you doing it, then if they were to do it and you weren't there, what would they do?
I get that. I do get that. And another way that I can put this in, another way that I can put that question is to everybody: have you dived into something without actually looking how deep the pool actually is?
Ooh, bro, Hamlet, you don't even know how deep that thing is. I can't swim.
And
so how I look saying I'm a lifeguard? I can't be nobody lifeguard. LHG can't swim. Ooh,
when we dive into things and we don't without looking at how deep the pool actually is. When we get in that water, then when we don't see the bottom or the bottom's way down there,
bro,
it's intimidating and it's daunting because now, wow, I just dived into this and now I gotta sit there. Now I gotta sit there and try to tread water as much as I can to keep myself from drowning. And most times when we dive into these things, especially the situation that you just mentioned, we jump into these things without having a proper without having a life preserver.
Ooh,
we don't jump into these things without having a proper life preserver, or we don't put it on when we jump into the water, and then we don't have a plan to rescue ourselves.
Sheesh.
or to better yet to get to the end of the pool, to where you can at least hold on to the edge of the pool or at least float or kind of or doggy paddle to the shallow end. And
wow,
that's daunting because when you take on things like that, and that becomes a limitation to you as if you're and this is not to disparage or discourage
right?
any parent who is taking care of their children's children, their children's kid, their children's children. It is, I look at that as being an honor and a privilege, but sometimes it can be daunting, and it can push you to every particular limit that you can walk upon, because now these kids, the only people that the kids will know will be you,
right?
As a grandparent and a parent. And like you mentioned earlier, LHG, if they're not taught how to do this, they won't learn.
Absolutely.
And not only will they limit themselves, they will also limit the people that are trying to help or trying to render assistance. And that is something that we must consider. We must when we consider our limitations.
We've got a comment here. Welcome, Elder Tanika Fitzgerald. My sister says, I got in an 8-year ministry cycle where I was supposed to assist, in quotation marks, assist. I allowed them to make it my assignment. And she says it about took her out. Let's
talk about that. Because
I feel that.
Let's talk about that because some things that we're supposed to just assist in, quote unquote, people pile that on and make it an assignment.
Yes.
And because we're assisting, assistance is limited help.
Limited help. I like how you put that.
Not something that you pile on somebody and they take it on full time. I'm only here to render assistance, meaning my help is only here for a limited time only.
But here's the problem with that. When you shine in the limited help capacity and people say, oh, well, you could just go ahead and do A, B, and C. The issue becomes if we don't say, well, I was originally brought in here to help. Should you at that point say at one point at year 2, at year 3, at year whatever, I appreciate your confidence in me and I have enjoyed assisting. Now I have to back away. As a matter of fact, is there someone else that I could train even in my assistant role? Is there anyone else that you've identified, dear leaders, that could probably train in this? It could be another assistant to where either we could work together, or is there someone else that could take this role on full time and I can assist them in that transition? At what point do we say something? And when we do that assistant role so well, should we not expect them to say, well, this is working out so good, you might as well just stay in? Why don't we say something?
But see, the stay in thing is the assumption from the other side, not from us.
Okay.
Again, and I can say that from a practical and also a personal standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
If you're assisting somebody, I'm here for a limited time only, meaning my assistance is here for a specific time frame.
There it is.
When that time frame expires, I'm out of here.
Yes, put a limit on it. Put a limit on it.
My time frame expires, I'm out of here. But then when there's no suitable replacement, the expectation is for you to be there and to be in that capacity and to be that person.
And that's what she said. I was asked to sub for 2 weeks while they replaced their musician who ghosted them. They stopped looking.
And you know why they stopped looking? Because you became effective in that role.
Yes.
And the moment you became effective in that role, they stopped looking, and boom, this is in here, and boom, there you are. You're right there. You're right there.
And you know what, Elder Tanika? I feel like we have such a pure heart. When we don't say something, we want to be the best and we want to help. I think it's kind of an innate wanting to help that steps up. And we feel like, well, I'm already doing it. I'll just keep it going. But on their end, I think they don't realize you're one person. The agreement was 2 weeks. Let's stick to the agreement. So we have to say, okay, here we are at a week. How's your search going? 1 week down, that gives me 1 more week. And when we get to a week and a half, do we say, hi there, how's it going? I may be able to give you 1 more week if you haven't found anyone, but are you looking? Are you looking? So do we have to keep that communication going, brother, and do some check-ins, some checkpoints?
We do.
Okay.
And Miss Fitzgerald said something very, very powerful, that it was her fault for not setting boundaries. A part of our limitation, part of understanding what our limits are, is to understand where our boundaries are. And sometimes that requires us to draw a hard line in the sand and to simply say no.
Listen to this. She says, I was told from the pulpit that if I wanted to leave, I had to pray another musician in.
No.
Wow.
Negative Ghost Rider.
Sister, I don't. Whoa.
If you're not if you're not comfortable into that particular position, if you're not comfortable in that position, you have the right to say, I don't want to do this.
You have to pray in me. It's their position. You're doing them a favor to say, I will do the 2 weeks. But you're saying you have to do the praying and interceding. Lord, please send another musician.
No.
Not even looking. They stopped looking.
Nope. They stopped looking. The minute you feel that position, Miss Fitzgerald, they pretty much you were locked into that.
And knowing what I know about you, sister, the way you are and how you operate and how you flow, they probably like, yep, the Lord done sent us a musician and we ain't looking nowhere.
Oh no, y'all still looking. And I would make that emphatically clear. Ooh. You still looking. Remember, I'm here temporarily. Temporarily has a time frame.
Yes.
And then on top of that, now that because you mentioned you didn't set boundaries or impose anything, now it's time for you to impose. To say impose boundaries, impose a time frame. And if they don't agree to that particular time frame, or they say, well, you're already in the position, no.
But look how they turned that around and made it spiritual. Well, if you want to lead, you got to pray somebody else in.
That's not that. You know what my response would be? That's not.
Look how they just turned that into something spiritual.
And you know what my response would be? That's not my purview.
Oh my goodness.
That's not my responsibility. Y'all should be the one. Y'all should still be searching.
Be searching. We talked about this. We had a deal. The deal was 2 weeks. Don't try to make me feel some type of way or some type of guilt, because I want to uphold our bargain. If our bargain was 2 weeks, 1 month, 1 year, whatever, Don't twist that like that. You need to look for someone else. I am here to help with the transition within this 2 weeks. So it would behoove you to get them in here by week 1. So that last week is training.
Yep.
That's how it should work. It would behoove you to get them in here by the end of the first week. So my final week is me literally training the new person and getting them prepped, because at the end of week 2, I'm supposed to be gone.
Yeah, people will talk you into a limitation, into a restriction. People will do that. Now, again, this is not me talking about or putting out people like that, but ministry does this all the time.
You're not lying, bro.
Talk you into a limitation or a circumstance, because we don't have anybody in our auxiliary, so we're not volunteering you, we're voluntelling you.
Voluntold. I have been there.
And now I'm stuck now with this restriction, and I can't go left, I can't go right, I can't go north, I can't go south. I'm here.
But let's go a little bit deeper in that. And I always say this, and this may sound a little strange, but small ministries are dangerous. You do one thing good one time, and you are probably going to be the person for that forever, unless you say, I can't do this, and then they make you feel guilty. We got a comment. She says, I imposed and relinquished the position December 2019, but I still receive subtle rebuke and maltreatment because I'm out of order for not permanently committing to the position. Needless to say, I'm on a sabbatical. You know what? I don't like when people do that, Elder Tanika. When you bring something to me and you give me a limit. If they told me 2 weeks, okay, I'm simply saying okay to this 2 weeks. But why do I have to be made to feel a certain way because I set a boundary? As if I'm the only person that could do this. That's not fair. And it's almost manipulative.
Very.
If I can say, that comes across as manipulation. Like, I want to make you feel guilty for not just saying yes to doing this forever. But why not see who else is out there? Why not open up your search to other people? And I'm not saying I will never come in and sub again. Okay, so Elder says she does believe it is manipulation. I just wanted to say that's kind of where I'm feeling that it is. And unfortunately, it does happen a lot when it comes to church, because people prey upon your commitment to Christ. Please don't do that, because I believe Christ wants me to take care of myself. And it's almost, I just heard someone say, I don't remember where I heard this. Oh, at a conference two weeks ago, a woman's conference. It was moms and daughters. And this young lady had her daughter with her. And I love how she said, she acknowledges the fact that she's a human being and human beings need breaks. So when she needs a break, she and her family says, we're not going to church today. That was the first time I heard that said, especially in that denomination. I wanted to give her a standing tambourine ovation with a tap dancing for extras.
Man.
Because people feel as though because it's ministry, because it's church, you should wear yourself out to the white meat. And I don't think anything should get that much of you, because we're human, not robots.
Nope.
So while I respect people who go to church every day of the week, God bless you, I'm not built like that. And I want us to get to a point where we allow ourselves time to heal, to rest. And if you're in ministry and you're already going over and beyond, when do you get rest? And even on a job, this is the problem with that. They're going to make you not want to do good just so you can get out of doing it more.
Right.
It makes you like, well, goodness, should I not have been so great? Should I not have shown up? Elder says, yes, more people are doing this. This is out of order to me. And we got another comment here. It's funny how some ministries define declining a role as out of order. Yes. Wonder what else is considered. When it's not, when they don't like it, it's called out of order. Out of order is that category of stuff when people in ministry feel you're not doing what they want you to do. It's going to either be rebellion, witchcraft, or out of order. That's that catch-all bucket. When you don't do what I've told you or I want you to do, it's an out of order. And that itself is out of order.
Selfish thought process.
Okay. I hear from God myself. So if I'm doing my 2 weeks and I get that tug in my spirit, okay, that's the limit. They're going to have to find somebody else. I'm out of there. You can fuss and say what you want over the pulpit and be shady grady if you want. You're not going to be in the hospital room if, God forbid, I end up getting sick. You're not going to be the one trying to console my family. We got to stop doing that, especially with the church. We got to stop using it at our disposal as this, you being rebellious. No, I just exercised my right to say no. That's all I did. It's nothing spiritual about it. I have a right as being who I am, a human being, flesh and blood. I don't have to be at your every beck and call. And guess what? I'm going to still see Jesus, even though I told you no. You might not for acting crazy.
You probably ain't going to do that no way. I mean,
almost because, and the thing is, what I've learned, what many ministries do, they overlook other people who probably could be helped and trained, but they have their picks and their likes and their favorites.
Pick of the litter.
They want to keep pushing those same people in rotation where you've got a few others over here, but you feel, well, I don't know them. I don't like them. Get to know them. Talk to them.
Yep.
See what their training and their backgrounds. We don't even know who's sitting in our pews. Back in the day when I was growing up, my mother was the church secretary. We had new members fill out a form, y'all. This is old school. New members had a form to fill out. What are your hobbies? What's your background? Do you have clerical experience? Are you a musician? We asked them, what is your background? What do you do? What would you like to do for the kingdom of God? And they may put on their paper, well, I can play this, I can play the piano, I can teach Sunday school, I can cook the best fried chicken. Find out who's in the pews. So, and this goes for the marketplace too. When you have someone who comes and shines every day, that's good, but they need a break. And I'm just going to say this, in my daily activities today, the person I was with, I can tell she needs a break. And they waited too long to even give her an assistant, because you got to train them. They got to get acclimated. You got to send them here and send them there. So I think leadership, not just in the church, but leadership even in corporate America, can probably use some training in how to diversify and spread the wealth for people to be able to do different things and delegate differently. I came from working for a company 20 plus years, loved it, but yes, they wore me out. Part of it was my own fault, though. Let me say that. The more you show up, the more they expect from you.
Oh, hell yeah.
Even though you came and did your 2 weeks, in their brain, we're going to keep her.
She's the one.
I'm coming in early. I'm always there getting the office together, wiping down the tables. So guess what? They started coming in a little later. Why? Because we know Latania's already there.
Expectation.
So I can stop and get coffee and donuts and waffles and omelets because I expect LHG to already be there. Even though in my mind, I'm doing just my job, I was teaching them that I was invincible and I crashed and burned, and I crashed hard.
See, which leads us to number one.
Let's do it.
Knowing our limits requires us to properly assess our strengths and weaknesses.
So we gotta know. We gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, when to walk away.
Man,
I had to go. Rogers on y'all.
I know, and I love that song too.
Woo! You gotta know.
If we don't properly assess,
come on with it,
what we're strong at and where we're weak at, we will consistently be roped into things that we don't have, that we are not prepared to deal with, or not prepared to handle, or prepared to properly walk into. We got to know where we're strong at. We got to know where we're weak at. You also got to know if you're walking into a situation that is going to accentuate your strengths or expose your weaknesses. If you're walking into a situation that exposes your weaknesses, then you're making yourself more of a liability than you are making yourself an asset. But we have to know what these are.
When I interviewed, I don't know, people who have interviewed recently, and maybe not recently, but one of the questions they ask you has to do with strengths and weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not looking for you to be fake, because I don't have no weaknesses. The joy of the Lord is my strength. No, they want you to be honest. And I say, here's where I go wrong. LaTanya Harris Gooden is the kind of person who will raise her hand so quickly and try to be on for everybody, not realizing you got a whole team. And then I find myself pushing up against the wall because I'm tired. I take on. I am a taker oner. I saw my mother do it. I saw her go to a job and work her fingers to the bone in an environment that didn't anywhere near value her. She cut the lights on, cut them off. Weekends, holidays, they can call her. I literally did exactly what she did because I saw her do it. I thought that's what you were supposed to do. Some of us believe, just from our upbringing, and not that it's wrong, it's all we know. Some of us only know working our fingers to the bone and to stress. We don't know how to balance. We don't know how to say, "Oh, I can't do that." We don't know how. We are the children of baby boomers.
Yep.
Now you ask a millennial, a gen, whatever that is.
You're gonna get a strange look.
Matter of fact, the question was asked in an environment that I was in last week. What happens if you get ready to go home and a customer comes in saying, "Oh my God, I need to." That one girl was like, "I'm going home, clocked out, peace. I don't care." But here I am. Well, I would put my purse down and say, "I'll be happy to help you." And to me, I think that was the right answer. But it showed some people, when it's cut off, I'm done. But the problem for me would have been if it came back on me the next day, that could have been my job.
It could have been.
If you were still in the building, yes, you might have clocked out for the day. But a customer, some kind of way, comes into the office just as you're leaving, not you in your car on the freeway. They come in the office as you're leaving and they have a need.
Right.
Company philosophy was to handle.
Yep.
The young generation, no shade to the young generation, but that lady was like, "You said it was time for me to go home." That means cut.
Man,
so in some instances, you have to go beyond. But that's how you have to do the assessment. Is this something that I must do? Or I just feel that gravitational pull to do? Because there could be a difference.
One of the best analogies I can use for that is there's nothing wrong with going hard in the paint. And this is a basketball analogy. This is a basketball analogy, but I think everybody that's listening and watching us can agree with this one. There's nothing wrong with going hard in the paint at all.
Okay.
But understand, every time you go hard in the paint, you gonna take punishment.
Ooh wee.
Every time you go hard in the paint to drive to the hoop, you gonna catch your elbow. You gonna catch your forearm. Somebody gonna put their hand in your face.
Okay.
Every time you box out for a rebound, your body's going to take some sort of punishment.
Okay.
And not only is your body going to take punishment, you're also going to take mental punishment. And I'm using that as an analogy because there's nothing wrong with us working hard. There's nothing wrong with working hard.
Okay.
And I can bring this back to my own personal experience. Actually, I can bring it back as early as last Friday.
Oh, okay.
We were working a concert. I work for Live Nation. I work for Ameris Bank Amphitheater. We were finishing. We were doing. Now this is day 2 of 3 concerts and three shows in a row. We're doing our thing after the show. And now this show had a whole bunch of confetti that we had to get out. That we had to get out of the venue.
With confetti, bro.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes,
oh man.
And so I'm blowing, then I'm sweeping, and I was literally working through back spasms.
Ooh, bro.
And at that particular point, and I kept going, but all of a sudden my body said, nope. We're not going, brother. We ain't going no further. You're done. You are toasted. You are toasted right now. And that's what I mean by assessing our strengths and weaknesses. But it also means listening to what our bodies are telling us. If your body's telling you no more, no more. You stop right there. Because one of the things that I understand and that I'm beginning to understand is that, and LSG can attest to this, we're at the age that we are now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 52 years old. LSG is pushing 50.
I'm pushing and sniffing 50 real good.
We have to understand that there's certain things that we can't, that our bodies, where we couldn't, we can do as young bucks, but we can't do that as older people. So
have mercy.
We have to learn how to just kind of listen to what our bodies are saying to us.
Yes.
And when our bodies say stop, please just stop.
Yes.
Because one of the things that, I'm all for, breaking the fourth wall and stuff like that. I'm cool. I'm all for that. But at the same time, I'm not cool with the things that had the result of doing that.
Right.
Which leads us to number 2.
All right, number 2.
Passing through limits allows us to reach higher levels, but it has a high cost attached to it.
Woo-wee.
If we pass through our limitations, it's a good thing. It allows us to level up, to get to a higher level. But it has a very, very high cost attached to it. Wow. And what I mean by a high cost, the cost in energy that we expend by doing that.
Oh, bro.
We want to get to this high level so bad that we will expend a crazy amount of physical, emotional, and mental energy to get to there. But then when we break the wall,
okay,
we have no more energy to go forth.
Wow. So now you got there, and now you can't even do anything else because you got to maintain now.
Yeah, you done broke through the walls. Now broke through the wall, but now you're gassed.
Oh, wee.
And people keep saying, well, you have to learn how to dig deep to get to where you want. Well, I done dug as deep as I can get. I done broke past the wall.
Wow.
But now I'm past the wall, but now I don't have any energy to go further. And we have to understand where we are when we do this. It's okay. Like I said, it's okay for us to go past the fourth wall and break the limits, because sometimes we do have to break certain limitations that we impose on ourselves.
Okay.
That we emotionally and mentally impose on ourselves.
Right.
Physical limitations physical limitations can be better addressed by rest and proper taking care of your body. Emotional and mental limitations, however, require a lot more energy for us to deal with, because now we're dealing with things such as trauma
Yes.
and other things and other types of mental health issues that we're dealing with. And we have to learn that we can bust through that wall. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But are we going to have energy to keep going beyond the wall? If you're that close to the wall and you just want to take a sledgehammer and knock it down and then kind of walk away from it, that would be my suggestion. But then again, some of us are hardwired to not only bust through, to not only break the wall, but to also break through the wall.
But this requires prayer. This is layered, because some of us are so accustomed to saying yes, accustomed to being the go-to for everyone, accustomed to always burning the midnight oil, that we don't know anything else. And when we do pull back, people have a way of making us feel so guilty. For example, I was working at my former position 10, 12, 14 hours. Why I'm still sitting here when people are leaving that came in after me. So I decided to change that. I said, I'm going to do my 8 and skate. I grabbed my coat, my purse, and I told my manager, good night. She says to me, where are you going? I says, home. I've actually done my 8 hours today. You all came after me. So why should I leave after you? You should get used to seeing the back of me for a change. You've never met the back of LHG, because I'm always here. You walk in, the front of me. You walk out, front of me. Nope, I want to introduce you to the rear side of LHG. You're going to see me walking away. This is called walking away. But you have to teach people how to handle that. And then it got so bad to where when I first got into the job 20 something years ago, and I came in as a brand newbie, and I'm sitting there trying to do my best and, just being who I am. I would classify myself as an overachiever. That's not the same as being perfect. No one is, but many of us are wired to always push it, to always go further, always double check, triple check. Some of us just do that innately. It's not to outshine anyone. It's not to make anybody feel a certain way. Some of us are wired to just always go hard.
Yes.
Because we don't know any other way to go. But that makes some people feel a certain way about us. Who does she think she is?
Oh,
and at the end of the day, this not even about you. I am wired this way. It's not to say I didn't go in the office and say, Natalie doesn't work well. Nope. I just do the work. Even though in my back of my mind, I know Natalie is not going to go as hard as I do, but I'm not sweating it. It's going to get done. And I take it for the team. Exactly. But people will look at you if you are the kind of person who operates in excellence, always stays late, comes early, make sure things are what they should be. People will look at you and make you and villainize you.
Oh, all the time.
Villainize you for being that one that goes above and beyond. And it makes you want to say, you know what, I'm good. Let me just do my part. Because at the end of the day, we're not going to get the same amount of money. If I'm working hard and I deserve a raise, but we only can give you this, so she's going to get the same thing that I get, right. But I work 3 times harder. I'm talking about some corporate jobs. No, and don't mess around and be salary.
Oh, man.
I can't even get no overtime. So I'm working 10, 12, 14 hours.
For the same amount of money.
More than my neighbor who go home 10 minutes early every day. It is not to say don't do well. We are still representing the kingdom of God. So please don't think I'm saying do a haphazard or mediocre job. I'm saying it is okay to put a cap on it. If you work 9 to 5, okay, I may come in 8:30, 8:40, get my coffee, get logged in, get going. But I can't keep staying until 7, 8, 9. That's got to stop.
It has to, because
we are filling up the hospitals. We are filling up cemeteries. We are, the therapists are already, they're so booked. And it's nothing. And as you heard that song, we believe in therapy. But one of the reasons why they're so busy is because so many of us are stretched. Yes, Cousin Kenyatta, we're going to have to start putting some caps on things. This whole bottomless pit of help for people is not healthy, cousin. It's not. It's not wise either. So I'm like, okay, Lord, here's where the discernment or the wisdom or something comes in to say, I am paid to work this to this.
Yep.
I can go home and be okay. Get in my car, clock out, go to my car and go home and take away that guilt. Take that away. I would leave late. And then on top of that, tell my boss, well, if you need me, call me. Why would I say that? I've already worked 3 hours past her.
No.
I don't want her calling me. And I'm working from home, but it just rolled off my tongue. There was no cap. But and I had a breakdown, several of them, bro.
But because it's something you're used to.
Yes.
Because let's just call it like it is.
Hey, cousin.
Hey, Kenyatta, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in, sweetie. We appreciate you. So let's just break that down and call it what that is. Okay. A lot of us are hardwired to do things like that, to go above and beyond. Because if we feel if we don't go above and beyond, we're not doing the best job that we know how to do.
That's it. But why do we feel that way?
You know, we go above and beyond. We don't do it for the recognition.
Right.
We do it. And I can speak to my own personal experience, especially working where I am now. I do it because I don't do it for recognition. I do it because number one, it's a team dynamic that I'm contributing to.
Yes.
My prior military experience has stressed the teamwork part. And that's something that's so ingrained in me. And as long as I'm doing my part, my expectation is that the people who are my teammates are doing their part and pulling their weight too.
But so are we task driven people? Is that what this is? Are we task driven? See, I like to cross stuff out. So if it comes across, this is how I used to get hemmed up with my old job. The email goes out to the entire team. But I feel the inclination to respond. Oh, I can handle that. Because there's something inside of me that's so task driven. I want to see it marked out. Even if it takes me all night to do it out. And my boss would say, well, LHG, that was meant for the team. And the few times I said, okay, well, how about I try something? The email goes out. I say nothing. Guess what? Nobody else did either.
See, that's the thing, because there's an expectation.
They always used to you doing it, but I didn't do it this time, and they still didn't step up.
No, and then when we want other people to step up to the plate, and maybe take a swing at a pitch, and then they don't step up, or they strike out, which is fine, which is normal, and which is fine. Me personally, if you step up to the plate and you strike out, I'm cool with that, because at least you gave it an attempt. But when you don't make the attempt, that becomes the issue with me.
That's an issue for me too. And I agree with Cousin Kenyatta. When you go above and beyond and you keep doing it and you work to be excellent in what you do, and you still, are treated like you're nothing or you're not. I'm not saying you got to give me balloons and cake all the time, but sometimes I see you, I appreciate you. Thank you for handling that. Because what they will do, some employers, they'll publicize all of your mistakes, but never give any publicity to your triumphs.
Nope, not at all.
If I mess up something, it's all across the department.
Yeah, because
if I do something good, you don't even want a customer could have called and said, LHG handled me so great. Please give her a raise. I was going to leave your company, but she saved the relationship. Nothing.
Yep.
Nothing.
Oh, you screw up, you mess up. Oh, it's plastered all over the place.
Yes.
But then when you do something that you consider is praiseworthy.
Yeah.
Or the few people that you know, for the few people that know your work ethic, they know they know what you're about, that they think is praiseworthy. You know, they won't know. They will. It's not advertised, and it's only advertised to you and the small circle of people that know your work ethic and know that it is deserved.
I need people to take from this. Know your limitations, know your own strength.
Weaknesses.
And as you said earlier, yes, there are times when we do have to push because we can't have self-limiting beliefs, but there's also a time when we know we can do it, but we push so far that we get into that danger zone. And have you ever been so tired that you didn't even know where you were, so disoriented that you couldn't even get your bearings? And these companies need to see more people saying, you take up too much of my life. Why can't this be done in 40 hours? I had an interview and they came out the gate saying, this is not a 40-hour week job. Now I'm thinking, why isn't it? You pay me for that. Why can't you make it to where this job can be done from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday?
Why? And what was the answer to that? What was the answer to that? They said it's not a 40-hour week job.
Because there was different follow-up, and their expectations were set to where you had to make so many calls a day. And my thing, looking back at it in hindsight, perhaps your expectations are just too high. If nobody can meet it, it can't be us. If nobody can do it. Now, it's different if everybody was doing it but me. But if we all failed in that category, what does that tell you, leadership? If nobody met the goal, your goal may be too high. Because every time we meet that goal and beat that goal, the next year they're going to make it higher. And I'm not saying goals should not stretch you, but these employers now are getting over because they are paying you the job of one, but you're giving them the work of 3.
Yep.
So we're going to have to get to a place, and I'm not saying walk up in the boss's office, take your earrings off, put Vaseline on, and go to whooping them. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we have to speak up for ourselves. We're going to have to professionally learn how to say, no, I don't think that's feasible. I don't think that's humanly possible. I'm not able to do that. If you want quality, you can't keep piling on. If you want this to be a good product, okay, if you just want to make 10,000 widgets in an hour, but are they solid widgets? You just want to mass produce, but then you have to have a recall because something broke and now somebody's life is at stake. No, rushing and just mass producing things isn't always effective. Where's your quality of that? If you take 50 calls a day, but 41 of them I had to call back and say, I'm sorry, Natalie was not supposed to do that. But I want to reward her for being the person who got the highest calls. Even though LHG had to fix 80% of them.
Man,
that's off. That's off.
That's off.
So we have to say to people, I want to be good at what I do. To be able to deliver top-notch service, here is my limit. I can do 30 calls a day, and they can be so good you can eat off of them.
Yep.
As opposed to allowing them to push us to doing 70, but yet a fourth of them or third of them are jacked up, and you're going to get rolled up anyway.
Man, look.
These are systems in place that we're going to have to challenge. Power Hour tonight is about knowing your limits. Stand up for your rights in any capacity. Make sure that you're not teaching them with your working extra and over that you're invincible, because you're really not. Go home, take vacations, take breaks, leave the desk, leave the building. Because the more you are that, I was that person, y'all. She's always at her desk. She doesn't even go eat. And I would be the one crawling to my car, barely able to get out of the car to go into my home, crawling. I was in so much pain.
And that's not good.
It's not good. People have had strokes, y'all, at young ages, 30s and 40s, stroking out over jobs. That is not the will of God.
Nope, it is not. And we have to listen to what our body is telling us.
Listen.
And if you don't listen, like I said earlier, it's cool to go hard in the paint, but keep in mind that every time you do that, you're going to take a beating. And
go hard, smart. Can we work smarter?
Not harder.
And not so much harder. Yes, cousin, we are the same person. We are. We got to be smart with this work. I want to work hard enough to where I still get my good raise, my good review, but not so hard that I deplete myself and I don't even have time for myself. It's got to be some wisdom interjected in there where we can do this in a way to where it benefits ourselves. I don't, because if you pull it back too far, bro, and I've done this. If you pull back too far, well, let's review. You were doing A, B, C, and D, but now you've kind of changed. You've pulled back, so now I'm gonna have to give you this. No,
I hate that.
So I set the bar so dang on high. Then when I pull back, now you want to say I'm changing and going the wrong direction. We got a comment here. Not his will. I had a follow up with the Cardi. I was just today at 45 years old. Got to do better. And we will. And we will, sis. We have to do better.
You know what, Miss Fitzgerald?
Try to manipulate us into doing. We owe it to ourselves, our families, to do better. Life cannot just be a series of work days and then you leave here.
And Miss Fitzgerald, this third and our final one that we're going to talk about today is for you.
Let's hear it. There it is. Limitations allow us to see ourselves in our most vulnerable and open state. We're human. Flesh and blood. We're not a computer. We're not a programmable robot. We are a human being, and we have stops. We can start here and we stop here. And to be effective, especially with you, sister, mom, wife, minister, business owner, with all the wonderful hats that God has blessed you with, you want to be able to enjoy them. When one of those is teetering over the edge, it's like the other ones tend to suffer. That job that I had took so much out of me. I postponed my wedding. I wasn't talking to people. I was hardly going anywhere. And then after I had the breakdown, I didn't know what to do. But then I got the call to be a trailblazer and to be a podcaster. I wouldn't have been able to do that with that particular job. But now here I am trying to go back into working. It's like, Lord, I got to have a balance, because at this rate, y'all won't see LHG. This is a lot. So I'm going to say to them, okay, thank you for the compliments saying that I'm doing a good job, but I do need help. And here are the following things that I need to be comfortable here.
Yep.
You can either say yay or nay.
That's it. Yes or
That's
no.
it. And I gotta trust God. A lot of this knowing your limits, boundaries, is going back to trust. Lord,
Big,
as
big
long as I'm in
trust.
prayer and I say, Lord, you know what I can do. You made me. You know how far my mind and my body can go. I trust that when I set my boundaries and my limits, even if it means going somewhere else, you'll provide for me. I
Yeah.
trust that you love me enough to where you don't want me to put myself in that danger zone. This is a spiritual journey. Discovering your limitations and boundaries, this involves prayer and communication with the manufacturer. We gotta talk to the maker, because the instructions say, do not use this with X voltage. Do not go
Mm-hmm.
beyond this. Do not. Every time you open up instructions, you're going to see some do's and some don'ts. This product has a weight limit. Do not put more than 17 people that weigh 300 pounds on this elevator.
Exactly. Exactly.
You start putting in all, the whole football team and the whole, listen, you go against the instructions, and that could lead to fatality.
Exactly. Man. And this is the other thing that you mentioned when you mentioned the human part of it. Ladies and gentlemen who are listening to us or who are listening or watching us, the moment we realize that we're human, and I do mean the moment we realize that we're human and that we're fallible,
Wow.
that's the moment. That's the moment that we realize that, hey, this ain't some of the stuff that I'm trying to do today. I can set aside. I can set aside for tomorrow.
Yes. Oh, that's
Everything,
good, brother. That's good.
everything don't got to be. Everything don't got to be done in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day.
That's wisdom right there.
We have to realize, first of all, number one, we are
Sheesh.
human beings first. Number two,
Yes.
we are men, and we are men or women. Two things that we got to realize. But we have to understand that the human aspect of us comes before the gender aspect of us.
Wow.
Because that's the thing that came first. That's the thing that God thought about first. We can talk about God made a human being first. God made Adam, who was a man, but first, a human being first.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to get back to the human aspect of who we are as people. Human beings aren't robots. They don't run on an infinite source of energy. We have our energy limitations are limited. When we get sleepy and we get tired, it's time for us to shut down and go to sleep.
And don't you know, bro, don't you have your own way of knowing when you at that limit? Like, for me, when I get real quiet and I'm tired. When you LHG, you quiet, child. I'm trying not to pass out.
I'm about to go to sleep in here.
I'm telling. I fell asleep at the stoplight the other day. I opened up my eye. I'm like, why do I feel as though I'm sitting here too long? I'm not sure if the people behind me honked and woke me up. I looked up, and people who were in front of me, they were going down the road. That's when you know you're doing too much. And again, as we said at the top of the hour, many times for some of us, we do that because of money.
Yep.
So my trust in God has to say, yes, Lord, I could use the funds, but at what cost? I got to trust you to guide me and lead me to say, yes, I can do this. No, I can't do that. Because many of us have been asking God to heal us, and he is doing that how he sees fit. But we are working ourselves out of our own healing by pushing too hard.
Pace yourself.
Grace for the pace.
Pace yourself.
Wow.
Pace yourself. Because if you do not pace yourself, you will. There's so many people that when they don't pace themselves, they suffer from burnout.
Burnout, nervous breakdowns come from that. When you just have a moment of you get so tired mentally and or physically that you come out of character. And I hate to use the word, but it's like you snap.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to get to that. We used to call it postal.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
That was the term we called when people had moments and fits of rage. And I'm not trying to glorify any of this. Please know
Right.
that. But some people, when they reach a certain limit, you come out of character.
Big time. Big
And
time.
and speaking of that, a lot of jobs offer the employment assistance program for free.
Mm-hmm.
They offer so many therapy visits, so much counseling. Take advantage of that. Whether you're having some financial woes, marriage problems, the EAP, they pretty much have counselors for every category of issue.
Yep.
And don't wait to see a therapist until things go bad. Just see one, even if good things are happening to you and you seem a little overwhelmed, go talk it out with somebody.
Get in front of it.
I love how you put that. Get in front of it and not behind it where it's
Mm-hmm.
dragging you.
And I think, and the thing with knowing our limits is learning how to get in front of things before they become catastrophic.
Ooh-wee.
Knowing that, okay, I know my body is capable of running
Mm-hmm.
at peak efficiency for this long
Yes.
until certain things start saying, until my body starts communicating with me and telling me hell no.
Yes.
I know that I have the mental acuity or capacity to go to do certain things until I know my mind, until I know I'm going to personally check out. I know I
Yes.
have the emotional ability to do things, to handle, be in this emotional state for this long until I'm overwhelmed with certain things. And we have to learn when, and being overwhelmed is not something that that we always know that we are,
Mm.
because a lot of us wear a lot of hats.
Mm. Oh yeah.
And in the wearing of a lot of hats, we are different things to different people.
Yes.
Some of us are husbands, some of us are husbands and wives, boyfriend and girlfriends, but we also own a business.
Yes.
We also own a business. We're also a mother or a father. We could
Yes.
also be a grandparent. We may
Yes.
be involved in our local ministry. We may be involved in our local community. Those are, I just mentioned at least 8 or 9 hats right there.
Right there.
And
Right
when
there.
we wear all those hats, and we're always on the go, moving from
Yes.
one thing to the next thing, and
Mm-hmm.
then to the next thing, and then to the next thing, and then to the next thing, until our day is completely and totally occupied with the
And
things that
go.
we do. And
Yes.
then when things tend to go south, that's when then things go south, then we get overwhelmed, or we're bogged down with so much stuff
Yes.
that we don't have enough time to get everything done. Well, first and foremost, people, it's 24 hours in a day. Most of us, the majority of us, spend at least 8 of those hours working,
Yes. If
and
not,
then another 8 hours, another eight or so hours. And on average 8 or so hours sleeping.
supposed to be.
Supposed to be sleeping. So that's
That's
16. So that's 16 hours.
Yeah.
Where the other? So what are you gonna do with what are you gonna do with the other 8 hours?
Right.
What can you do with the other 8 hours? Well, I got some ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Get a book.
Yes.
Crack open a book.
Journal. Write some stuff out. Yes.
Crack open a book. Crack open a notebook.
Mm-hmm.
Get into a laptop. Find some ways to decompress, because a
That's
lot of times
it. Decompress.
these limitations we place on ourselves are, like I said, are either self-imposed
Mm-hmm.
or imposed by others.
And we allow it.
And we allow both.
Mm.
So we have to find some way to decompress and remove ourselves from those things that we impose upon ourselves and the
And
things
do
that people.
so unapologetically.
Oh,
Even if people make you feel a certain kind of way, well, this is my limit. I'm unable. Do not allow anyone to manipulate you into going past what you know is your limit.
And when you tell
Go
somebody,
to yourself. I mean, I can look back on so many things that I've done that if I could turn back the hands of time, I would do it differently. But going forward, I have to be open and honest. Like I'm just not able to do that. And be okay. And be okay with that. It's a journey. Journaling has really helped me when I've had a tough day or just a really overwhelming experience. Even if you just do a brain dump in your journal and just let it all out, don't worry about what it looks like, what it sounds like. Just dump it all out on paper. That helps. If you
exactly,
need to have a conversation with someone that you trust, say, you know what, sister or brother, you got about 15 minutes. I just need to dump some stuff out. And if you don't mind, let's pray after that so I can rest better. Taking this stuff to bed with you and it over to your subconscious, even your dreams are complicated. I woke up in the middle of the night with my dreams was overwhelming. I'm up trying to figure out, like, what is happening? Why am I up trying to figure out a problem that ain't even real? It's in my dream. Like I'm in my dream having a whole Jeopardy tournament. What is this?
exactly. And the one thing that I'll say, and this is specific to, I think this is specific for me, but also for other people. But I also want to say this, like most especially to Miss Fitzgerald, being open and vulnerable. When we realize that we're being open and vulnerable with ourselves, that allows us to reset. That allows us to press the reset button and say, "Hey, we're gonna do this again. Stop. Press the reset button." And the one thing I will say that this is something my therapist told me. It's okay to press the reset button.
Yes, it is.
It's really okay to press the reset button. You won't be penalized for pressing the reset button. It's okay. The reset button is there for a reason.
Yes.
Press it. Everything's gonna start right. Everything's gonna restart right over.
Yes. Reset is not the same as I quit.
Exactly.
There's an end game button, and then there's a reset button saying I'm still in the game. I just had to regroup, reset, reevaluate, reassess, so I can get back in and be stronger. I'm not saying I'm out of the game completely. I may even slow down a little bit, but it doesn't mean that I should be counted out. I just need to make some assessments and some adjustments to make sure I'm in this the right way, and I'm making sure I put myself at the top priority and not feel bad about that. We gotta do a part 2, bro. We gotta do a part 2.
We most definitely gotta do a part 2. Oh yes, we gotta do a part 2. We gotta do a part 2.
We gotta do a part 2 because this has helped me.
Ladies and I know it helped me too, because when
talking it out,
when we talk it out and we find out where the issue lies.
Yes.
Solutions come.
Yes.
And these tag teams that we do, I mean, it's always about talking out a problem and then finding a solution, but also saying, okay, this is where we are.
Yes.
When we're done at the end of the day, this is where we're at. And you feel better. You feel better afterwards. So from the bottom of our hearts, me and LHG, we thank you guys for tuning in tonight.
Thank you all so much.
It's most definitely going to be a part 2 to this. I mean,
yep.
We want y'all to tune in for part 2 because we're most definitely going to. No, don't worry about that.
We appreciate you for being in the room, sister.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for your input.
And if you got what you needed out of it, that is a win-win for us.
It sure is. And that's what Power Hour is about. The whole premise of this is to give us this moment to just engage and let some stuff go, put some stuff in perspective so that the rest of our week will be successful. Thank you, cousin Kenyatta. I appreciate you so much. Just
Yes,
making
ma'am.
sure that we don't overdo the to-do list, that we keep our own mental and physical stability in mind. So we thank you all actually for coming through the room. We'll be back. We may be able to do a part 2 next Monday this time. I'll see what my brother's schedule looks like, but this really did make me I feel lighter than I did earlier when we first talked. I'm like, bro, hell. So I feel better. So we got to get out of here.
Yep.
What do we have going on the rest of the week? Tomorrow, 7 p.m. Girl Chat Weekly.
Yes, indeed.
Girl Chat Weekly. What we're talking about, I will put out there. I'm not sure yet, but we will have our 1 hour of girl chat about what's going on in our lives, our wealth, our health, relationships, love languages, all the above. That's tomorrow at 7. And then I'll be back on Saturday at 5 for Critical Conversations. But just subscribe to the channel so you always know when we're on. We do pop-ups and stuff too. So just subscribe to the channel so you know you're getting your notifications. All right. All right. I gotta get going for my next appointment.
Gotcha. And I will close us out.
Awesome.
So you go ahead and get going and I'll close us out.
Bye, y'all.
So, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, big thanks to my sis LHG for being here tonight. Again, Power Hour and the check-in. This is what we do. This is our tag. This is the tag. This is our tag team time, and we do this every time we tag team. We always do something to get it done and get it right. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you guys so very much for being here tonight. We appreciate you. We love you guys. We want you to continue to follow us on all our social media platforms. We are on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We are on LinkedIn. We're on Clapper. We're on Rumble. We're also on TikTok. We put out short form content there. try to put out short form content there every week. And we're also on Discord. We're also on Twitter. We're also on Twitch. So check out our Twitch channel. We love you guys to life. We love you guys to live. We thank you guys so very much for being here. Friday evening, I am going to be doing a replay of a recent show that I did with a great sister from Carson, California, Miss PYT. So you guys check that out. But we love y'all, and there ain't nothing you can do about that. We do love y'all. We're gonna take y'all home with another song from Mookstar Dash called Alterations. Thank you guys so very much for being here. We love you, and until the next time. Number 1, take care of each other. Number 2, love on each other. Number 3, we know it's a very crazy world out here. So above all those things, the 2 things that I mentioned, please, y'all be careful. Y'all be careful out there. We love y'all. Enjoy the rest of this evening, but also have a great week. Until the next time, peace.
I'm tired of the same thing. Same people, same memory. I can't let it hold me. Purple hair and a nose ring. People always judge me. I need God to do the surgery. He's the only one who can fix me. Customize and alterate me. God, I need alterations, please fix me. I need some changes. God, I need alterations, please fix me. I need some changes. God, I need alterations, please fix me. I need some changes. God, I need alterations, please fix me. I need some changes. I started running solo. Lost some friends, lost some people. Trust me, only God knows. Conversations that I didn't know. Oh, I need some upgrading. Restore and make changes. What's not of His spirit, moving out the way. Religion tried to cut me, chain me up and mute my story. Ain't nothing gonna shut me up. I've overcome. Got my testimony, and everything that tried to stop me, no weapon will come against me. Let God do the fixing, yeah. Customize and alterate me. God, I need alterations, please fix me. I need some changes. God, I need alterations, please fix me. I need some changes. God, I need alterations, please fix me. I need some changes. God, I need alterations, please fix me. I need some changes. Please fix me. I need some changes. I need alterations. Please fix me. I need some changes.
When we talk about what a trailblazer is, it's usually associated with the words pathfinder, pioneer, or vanguard. So how about we add change agent to that? Welcome to Trailblazers Radio, a unique podcast platform that speaks about a myriad of subjects. We are not afraid of opening closed doors, and we always tell it like it is, period. We are accessible on various social media platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. We're also accessible on various streaming audio platforms such as Spotify, Google Podcasts, and so much more. It is our mission to ensure that you are educated, entertained, and edified. And we thank you for tuning in to us.